Welcome to the end of day review for Friday, the 9th of February 2024. Starting off with the economic calendar, as you can see, there are no red folder news events, which means that there is no considerations with regards to the economic events in terms of our trading. Then moving on to the daily chart, what we can see is that we're in this confirmed bearish trend. There is this one area of liquidity that I have been eyeing and will consider it a significant target. Now that we are in a confirmed bearish state, once we take out this swing low, then we know that from an ERL continuation perspective, this is a close by significant target. Moving on to the 4 hour, what we can see is essentially Monday evening we pushed through the 4-8 swing low, which validated the bearish leg, and since then we've essentially been pulling back. And on Wednesday we actually body broke this pro trend confirmed 4H OB, which then validated the pullback phase, and as a result this pullback phase OB right here was identified. The pullback phase 1 as well was identified in this pullback phase OB, which I've marked as a change of character, which will be the first mark to suggest that once it is body broken that we have a pro trend 4H primary leg. As you can see, this candle isn't really reacting to anything unmitigated to the left. What we can see is that this candle was mitigated right here by this minor pullback right here, and then we had the extension. So at the moment there are two 4H legs at play. There's the pullback phase primary leg, which we can see right here, and then also because we body broke this on Thursday, we have this pro trend primary leg that has developed as a result. So we've got this 4H pro trend OB that can support our short positions associated with the primary leg. However, given that we're in a confirmed state, we don't really need any 4H OB backing to support shorting. It's more so understanding where in the leg we are and how we can develop our positions from those legs. So coming into Friday, there's essentially two positions we can play. The one being a pullback phase primary secondary leg developed as a result of this window of imbalance pullback phase primary leg. So this is the pullback phase primary leg. This is the one put in the primary leg. On the 5, 15 and 30 minute, this is a reaction to the pullback phase pullback phase primary wump, and as a result on the 15 minute we create the secondary leg. At the same time, however, what we can see is that on Thursday we pull back into this pro trend OB. This 4H pro trend OB is a primary OB. Perhaps I should just add that, and again the reaction to that, which is right here, creates the secondary leg on the 5, 15 or 30 minute. As a result, there are two secondary legs at play, the first being the pullback phase, and the very latest information is that the pro trend secondary leg OB is at play, which then essentially tells us that we should follow the latest information, which means coming into Friday morning we were only considering shorts and waiting for that validation. However, we knew that there was also opportunity for longs, but we just had to be patient for it. So let's move on to the 15 or 5 minute chart, where we can elaborate on those facts a little further. So starting off with the London session, as I said, we had this the secondary leg that was validated, and as you can see, as we progressed into the Frankfurt session, while we did have this reaction right here and then this secondary leg validated, as you can see, the Asia range at no point was taken out by Frankfurt to the downside, and thus there wasn't any support for shorting. However, having said that, what we can see that Frankfurt actually put in a new high of the day, and then subsequently came London with the high of the day. At this point in the charting framework, we essentially know that the secondary leg based on the pullback phase has extended because we had body breaks above this level right here. So we could consider longs, and it didn't have a fib marked out as such. However, what we can see is that although this Asia low of the day was validated, we couldn't actually trade it because of our weekly bias, and that's something I may have missed in my daily situation, but I don't really think it's too necessary. So Monday put in the low of the week, and Thursday is neutral, so the weekly bias is also neutral. So why didn't I take this trade? Huh. Oh, so I didn't take this trade because when we um, well, when we came back into this leg, what we can see is we already started validating the secondary protrend leg, which is this right here, mark. So that's your change of character, and as you can see, any valid OBs are situated quite a bit below where the stock level is, where the 38% level right here. So if we were going to enter, we're going to enter either at this S&D flip right there, or we're going to enter right here. However, by that point, the secondary protrend confirmed OB was already validated, and because of that, we essentially knew that this secondary leg overrides this one, and since the latest information is that we should only short, we were essentially waiting for London high of the day to be validated by news or the New York session. Since from a news perspective there were no red folder news events, we had to wait for New York to open and validate it. However, New York didn't do that. Instead, what it did is validated that the London low of the day will actually hold because it took out the London high of the day range right there. However, at this point we couldn't long because the secondary pullback phase OB was not extended by a body break, which we can see right here. So while we did validate this point, we needed to wait for a body break, which came there. However, also in addition to that, this large wick meant that there isn't really anything to the left that explains the mitigation, so there's no S&D flip, and because there are no valid POIs per my trading plan, even though it may fit the 50% level right here, unfortunately there's no valid POI for me. So my valid POIs are either to have a chain or to have a supply demand flip, but this wick right here doesn't necessarily react to anything unmitigated to the left, and because of that I'm not happy to validate a supply demand flip POI right here, so I didn't take a trade there. And this is certainly not an extreme because the main leg is actually right here, so to argue this is an extreme is a bit of a stretch. And then we pretty much coming towards the end of the day, where at that point we can say, okay, we do have a chain right here, which I'll mark it on right here. So this is the first demand holding, and then next demand body breaks right here. So we've got this demand right there, and then you also have this window of imbalance. However, by this time we're well after the end of the session, and it's a Friday, so I'm certainly not trading. And that essentially brings me to the end of day review completion. So I hope you have a good weekend, or had a good weekend given that it's Sunday, and we'll chat again tomorrow for the London outlook.